Owning a C6 Grand Sport is like dating a super hot girl. You love to take her everywhere with you. You're super proud to have her. Everybody's jealous of you, but you just don't quite trust her. You're just sort of waiting for that day where she breaks your heart. I mean, she's been perfect up to this point every single time, but you're just waiting for that one day where you take her out and she just flips and blows up on you. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, as the title states, over the last couple of months, specifically over the last few weeks, I've started to question whether or not purchasing this Grand Sport was a good idea. And yeah, in spite of how good this car sounds, how incredibly good this car looks, how hard this car pulls, how well it performs compared to other vehicles in a similar price point, I might even say I regret the purchase a little bit. I have a real strong respect for karma, so I'm going to be careful in how I talk about this car because I absolutely do love it. I love every single bit about it, and I recently made a video on why the C6 Corvette Grand Sport is the best car for the money, and I still truly believe that, but there are a couple points I want to make here. My little rant there, likening ownership of the C6 Grand Sport to dating a super hot girl, is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's sort of based in reality. There's just a feeling that I have driving this car, even though I love driving it and I enjoy every single second about it. There's a little bit of a feeling in there that is just like, when is it gonna blow up? When is it gonna fail on me? When is it gonna let me down? And maybe that's just something I'll get over time, but it's not a feeling that I've had with a vehicle in the past, except for one or two others, and they did end up failing me. But like the Q50, for example, never once did I get in that car and think that it was gonna leave me stranded or it was gonna blow up or let me down. I knew no matter what I threw at that car, it was gonna handle it. And there's a lot of value in that, I'll say that. It might be because everything for this car is so damn expensive and it's such a pain to work on. I know there's people out there that'll say you have to pay to play, which is true to a certain extent, but you know, you blow up an engine in a C6 Grand Sport and it's not like you just go grab an LS3 and throw it in. I mean, the price of the engine itself is almost as much as the whole damn car together. I'm not talking about you, sweetheart. I'm not talking about you. No problem. I gotta say that my regret is based less on the fact that I don't trust her or that everything is so expensive, and more around the time period that I purchased the car. Let's just say that. We all know that during COVID-19, prices were heavily inflated for both new cars and used cars due to various reasons, including supply chain issues and things of that nature. And I jumped on this opportunity because I had been looking for quite a while, and we were starting to see some of the prices go down. And I thought it was a good chance to buy because there was some uncertainty still in the market and what the future would bring. Unfortunately, it seemed like immediately after buying this car, prices dropped dramatically. And I'm talking like thousands of dollars, and not just $1,000 here or $1,000 there. It was like a $5,000 drop seemingly overnight, which just, I know Grand Sports will hold their value over time, as they have up to this point. You know, we're still seeing them in the mid 20s to mid, even high 30s, you know, in some instances. Really, that's only something to take into consideration if you plan on holding this vehicle for a long time, but I don't really hold vehicles for all that long, and I'm honestly not sure how long I'll keep this car. Don't worry. You're not going anywhere. You're safe with me. You're safe. We're just thinking about buying a $35,000 car and then having it drop to $25,000 is like, it's obviously something you wouldn't do intentionally, knowing what the market was going to bring. And it's not something you would necessarily worry about if you planned on owning that vehicle for 5, 7, 8, 10 years. But if it was just a vehicle you planned on having a little bit of fun with, taking on a couple of projects with, and then moving on to something different, you might have a little bit of regret in you. Here's something that's really unusual, if not dumb, about the Corvette though. In hot weather, does anybody else's cup holder thing just literally melt in front of your eyes? It looks like somebody spilled something on it, but no, it's literally just the plastic melting. So you can buy something just like that and not necessarily waste that extra money on a Grand Sport. That right there might be the overarching point that I'm making with this video. And again, I don't go back on my previous video. I still believe the C6 Grand Sport is the best bang for your buck. From the wide body kit, the bigger wheels and tires, the better brakes, the dry sump system. There's a lot that goes, the better suspension. There's a lot that goes into making the Grand Sport the overall best bang for your buck car that there is. But you could right off the rip purchase the base Corvette and get, you know, 75-80% of the performance capabilities at a fraction of the price. The time I was looking for Grand Sports were going from a dealership at, you know, under 50,000 miles. They were going for $35,000 to $42,000, something like that, manual transmission cars. The base model Corvettes you could find anywhere from 20 to 25, maybe 29-ish. You could get a nice lower mile base model Corvette manual transmission for under 30 grand. But really, it was just the look of the Grand Sport that did it for me. And of course, the dry sump setup, but I love the look of the louvered fenders, the wide hips, the fat ass, and really how the suspension sat in factory state. I really wasn't into the look of the base Corvette. They always seem to sit a little bit higher. And again, dry sump, the fat ass, all of that plays into why I went with the Grand Sport. But looking at this blue one sitting over here now, she's got a decent stance to her, and it really doesn't look all that bad. Looking back on it now, I basically could have saved 10, 12 grand right off the rip and just upgraded the brakes and suspension and still had some money left over. Okay, I don't regret it at all. I still don't know if I trust her though. I'm just kidding. I trust you.